Hello, this is TelecomTV at the Wireless Global Congress in London, and I'm talking with Derek Peterson, who is the CTO of Boingo Wireless and also has another hat to wear, and that's what we're going to be talking about now. Derek, good to see you again.
Good to see you.
Thanks for talking to us. Now, you are the new co-chair of the WBA, the Wireless Broadband Alliance. What are your key objectives and what are you aiming to achieve in the new role?
You know, the Wireless Broadband Alliance has been working really hard to bring Wi-Fi technology to make it work seamless, secure, and interoperable for an operator. One of the key objectives we have is to take that same technology and bring it across multiple ecosystems, including, the enterprise, smart cities, as well as on-air and other verticals. So that's what we're working for, and I hope to be able to bring that and expand on what we've done so far. And that's one of the key things that I plan on doing as the co-chair.
So you have a roadmap. Where is that roadmap leading?
The roadmap is leading to convergence, and that's what's happening. The ecosystem needs to change because people don't care how they connect, they just want to connect. And so we're trying to focus on what's the best connection for each use case, and how can I best create that connection in a cheap, affordable way, but also with the greatest user experience.
I'm very glad you mentioned convergence there, because that's my next question to you. I hear a lot, you hear a lot, I'm sure, about the power of convergence. And why does then 5G require network convergence across licensed spectrum, unlicensed spectrum and shared spectrum? Is that the power of convergence, or does that contribute to the power of convergence?
It's really about contributing. At Boingo, we install connectivity in venues, and we install today licensed and unlicensed, and we've been doing that for many years, 12 plus years. One of the key things of challenges we've had in the past is trying to find the right model with the available tools, and that because we want to be able to share as much as we can to be able to cut the costs and be able to make sure that we're meeting everybody's needs. So shared license or shared spectrum is a new opportunity so that you have yet another tool to be able to deploy. So I shared a convergence manifesto 2 years ago about the importance of us converging, because we really need to focus on meeting the needs of the users and less on meeting each of our individual needs. And convergence allows us to do that. 5G is an important part of that because it's bringing it all together and we're all finally talking the same, saying collaboration and convergence is required.
It's been said to me at this event and in other interviews that Wi-Fi has a finite life as 5G comes into being, and that it may last 2 years at the minimum and up to 10 years at the maximum. What's your take on that?
I think it's kind of silly to think that. There are 12 billion, 8 billion, it depends on who you talk to, 3 billion in the last year Wi-Fi devices. It's going to continue to be Wi-Fi devices. The economics just make sense in a lot of situations. So saying that the technology is going to go away, I think, is not logical. Now, what is logical is the way we think about deploying and managing that technology today is going to change, because we're going to have more deterministic connections, which means we're going to have to work together, build standards so that one Wi-Fi network and another Wi-Fi network doesn't interfere with each other, and you get better user experience out of the Wi-Fi system. So
Wi-Fi itself continues to exist, but in a different guise, different format, or separately. Is that what you're saying?
Well, I don't even think it's separately. It's converged. But what's happening with 802.11ax or Wi-Fi 6 is we're taking OFDMA, so the same standard that's being used in cellular to be able to get spectral efficiency. We're using that in Wi-Fi. And so we're going to continue to evolve these standards. I was sharing earlier, one of the key things we're going to see is software-defined spectrum access, right? So a new term for us to play with possibly in the future. But that's going to be a key part of the future, is really allowing us to manage spectrum like we've been managing networks today, software-defined networks. We're going to end up continuing to see software helping us out solving these problems.
A final question to you. What are the latest trends you see that are impacting carriers and the cities, with smart cities we've been talking about, and enterprises? Where are the pain points? Are they difficult to solve, or do you think evolution will take care of it?
You know, the technical problems are not difficult. We can solve those. And I think that we all know that there's a lot of different solutions we can bring to bear to solve a technical problem. The biggest challenge is always the business problem, and that's trying to understand the right relationships. So when you're talking cities, there needs to be private-public relationships. When you're talking business to business, you need to be able to establish a relationship where everybody wins. And it's really about trying to find out how to do that in a secure way as well, because we live in a society that wants privacy. So it's solving those issues, so privacy and then working together and balancing the two. That's really the challenge.
You say it's really the challenge. Are we in sight of any solutions anywhere on that?
We are. There's a lot of stuff happening with blockchain and other, technologies, AI, those kind of technologies where we can take advantage of what's happening in other industries. They're going to help the network industry, just like what we're seeing with software-defined networks. Virtualization happened in hardware first. Now it's happening in the networks. That same thing's going to happen across the board, and it's going to allow us to have that flexibility we need.
Good interview. Best of luck in the new role. And Derek Peterson, thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.